car list for Need for Speed Heat. People have been requesting this one. I saved this one to last 100 cars. I am going to request for this game. Of course, in reality, it's a little bit different with Need for Speed when it comes to wish lists with cars because of the fact the game's about to come out. The cars are pretty much locked in the game. I already made a list in the past, which is why I'm now making an updated one. I prefer more customization to more cars, have a nice balance of the two. Cars in Need for Speed are a little bit different to other games because if you have an Aventador SV, there's no point in having the Aventador because you can modify the Aventador to make it an SV. Rapid fire is the aim of the game. I can say one extra word per car. Let's get into it. Aston Martin 177 TDU2. Aston Martin Vanquish, cool. Aston Martin Vantage, also cool. Audi RS6 Avant, dad. Audi TTRS Mini R8. I've already messed it up. I can't one word. I'm gonna do a few words, okay? Carrying on. Mini R8. Audi Sport Quattro Off-Road. Audi S1 Hatch. Audi S3. The 4-door, please. Audi RS3. The Finance Chav one, please. Audi RS4, the car I had for like a day. BMW Z4. No Supra, no problem. BMW 1M, not the M1. The 1M. BMW X5M. X6 is stupid. BMW 135i. Any of them will do. Chevrolet Corvette C8. Cheap. Amazing. Chevrolet Cobalt SS. This is not a Skyline. Chevrolet El Camino SS. Classic muscles. Chevrolet Camaro IROC Z. Nice. Chevrolet Chevelle SS. Can't get enough of Chevrolet, apparently. Cadillac Escalade. We need some big uns. Dodge Neon. Rice. Ford Escort RS Cosworth. A bit of Britain. Ford Sierra Cosworth. Even more Britain. Ford GT. Not the new one. I mean, I want both, but Ford Fiesta ST. Yes, mate! Ford Focus RS. Have both of them. Both is cool. Ferrari 812 Superfast. Red. Ferrari F12. Red. Ferrari LaFerrari. Also red. Fiat Punto. Hatchbacks. Fiat 500 the Bath. Pretty cool little boy. Gumper Apollo S. I think it's only been in one game. Honda Civic Type R. The new one, for God's sake. Honda CRX. Juiced. On my H1. Biggin. On my H2. Kinda biggin. Hyundai i30N. Very cool modern hatch. Hennessy Venom GT. Oh, yes. Infiniti G37. Also not a Skyline, but technically is. John Cooper Works Mini GP. Not so mini. 41 is the current number of cars I've listed to you. This list is long. I promise you. You know what? I actually went out and tried to look at a lot of low-end cars that I would like to see in the game. As I've got older and got away from the fact that I don't need to have one of those cars. Those cars again have been pushed away a bit, but essentially I want some of them in there. I want low-end cars to be more prominent than the high-end cars. In this list, there are technically more mid to low-end cars than there are high-end cars. I put some high-end cars in because in reality, that's what you want to aim for in the future. But I told you this list took me way too long to put together. So let's get it going. Let's finish. Jaguar XFRS. Britain. Koenigsegg Jesko. Because why not? Kia Stinger. Alternative 4-door beast. Lamborghini Gallardo. Because the Huracan is annoying. Lexus IS 300. Lexi. Lexus RCF. Also Lexi, kinda. Lexus GSF. The perfect combination of the two. Lexus LC 500. Because the LCF is not out yet. Lexus LFA. Where is it? It required the best V10 ever. Lexus LS 400. My dad had one of those. Lotus Carlton. Kinda looks like a Fox Buddy. Lotus Evora. Because Lotus. Lotus Elise. Because also Lotus. Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG. I didn't even realize it wasn't in the game. Please add it back. Mercedes-Benz SLR McLaren. Also add this one because people will moan if I just say SLS and not this one. Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG Black Series. Again, fantastic. Where did it go? Mercedes-Benz A45 AMG for the chavs, but with parent finance. Mazda 3 MPS. I actually still want one of these, and they're quite cheap. I don't know why I don't have one yet. Mazda 6. I don't know, any variation. Maybe the wagon. That's pretty cool. Mazda Rx-8. Where has she gone? I know so many old people that have these. They love them. JCW Mini, because I have one. Any classic Mini, honestly, they're pretty cool. Mitsubishi Eclipse, bring it. You've got Mitsubishi, please. Mitsubishi G3000 GT VR4, because it just looks cool, and no one has one. Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 6, probably one of my favorite looking ones, other than 10. McLaren Senna, fire! McLaren F1, classic hyper. Nissan Skyline R33 GTR, it's missing. Nissan 370Z, it's better than the 350. Nissan S14, we need them all, honestly. Nissan 300ZX. Big wangs suit this boy. Porsche Carrera GT. Why have they got Porsche and they don't even... They have a Carrera GT. The Carrera GT is up. The sound of it. The sound is just... Oh, I cannot get enough of the LFA and the Carrera GT. The two best sounding cars to ever exist. And if you disagree, you're just broken. You need to get your ears checked. 73 cars in... Oh, I tell you, it took a lot more effort to make this list than it did to actually read them out. Reading them out is easy. This is, I could do this all day. Just read. Do you know what's going to be heck? I was going to say hell. Just going to be hell. Putting pictures and Googling every single one of these. Pontiac GTO, muscle. Renault Clio V6. Yes, me! Volkswagen Scirocco R. Why is it still front-wheel drive, Volkswagen? I don't understand. Volkswagen Golf R32 Mark IV. This is the best shape. It's the best shape. Volkswagen Golf R. Why is the GTI? Why is it? I don't understand. Volkswagen Up GTI, which is actually now about the same size as the Golfs used to be. Vauxhall Corsa C. I'm busy. Vauxhall Corsa D. I'm still buzzing, but I've got some income. Vauxhall Astra. Why is you a hatch now? I don't understand. Subaru Impreza 22B. Please, this is the best one. Why have you got the stupid hatch in it? Subaru WRX STI. Big boy, very nice. Subaru STI Hawkeye, yes. Subaru STI Blobeye, both. Shelby GT500, holy. Celine S7, LA Rush is why. Scion TC, why is it just not called a Toyota? Toyota Supra Mark IV is just obvious. Toyota Supra A90, we need both. Toyota Celica, it's fast and slow at the same time. Toyota MR2, it's just slow. Toyota A86, obvious. Toyota Tacoma, we need more trucks. We've got like 2. TVR Griffith. Why give it the worst name? TVR Sagaris. How did you get to the start line? Tesla Model 3. Cheap. Tesla Model S. Electric. Tesla Roadster. Because electric can actually be cool. Put decent electric cars in the game. And we're done. That's my car wish list for Need for Speed for the next while. I am probably going to stick with this car list and this be the car list for every Need for Speed forever because realistically, I'm struggling. I want to know if you think I missed anything. I've covered a lot of bases. I wanted to do a decent amount of classic muscle, a decent amount of hatches because there aren't a lot of them in the game. But at the same time, I had a predicament of, do I go for the R versions of, for example, the Golf or the low-end 1.2s? But if you do that, realistically, are we going to be able to use those later in the game? The Golf R, for example, is a nice middle ground before you get to the medium class cars. Take the Golf R, or the Scirocco R is a better example, and then it can properly upgrade and compete against the supercars. It just makes sense to me. But if I did miss anything that you would like to see, please let me know. I think that is a pretty nice overall car list, though, for people that are playing Need for Speed. Would definitely like to see. I don't 100%, I don't want them to add 100 cars. If they added all these cars to the game, I think it would be overwhelming. I think I would prefer if they did it over time, but focused on having customization, a lot of customization for all of these cars. It's needed. Need for Speed, more like need for customization bits, please. Ferrari, stop. We've obviously got Ferrari in the game now. I just gotta hope that there's some bits to actually throw onto those cars. If there isn't, then get in the bin and please bring in something fresh and different that I actually want. I mean, I want Ferrari if it has parts. So now I want to dive in and speak a little bit more about the classes, specifically of why I chose this amount of cars of muscle and this amount of cars of hyper and all this kind of stuff. Now, generally, when it comes to these car list videos, I think the last one I did, I displayed about 10 cars on screen. So this one, I thought I'd go big or go home. This is like my ultimate car list. If all these cars were in the game, I would be a very happy pants. Now, I wanted to specify why I picked, I guess, not many classic muscle cars. I'm just not really in the know of many muscle cars. I would add a lot more if I knew more. I know Chevrolet make a lot of them, so that's why there's a lot of the Chevrolet El Caminos and all that kind of stuff. I think that El Camino style vehicle, fantastic. I love it. But yeah, please let me know about more classic muscle cars. But in terms of hatches and in terms of the sports and hypercars, I think we're properly sorted. I don't think there's anything else that I really missed that would be missed, if that makes any sense. There's a lot of cars that, again, potentially other people may have favorites of and that kind of thing. But I focus more on cars that could actually be used at the beginning of a game because realistically, okay, thinking back to it, when it comes to new cars in starter cars in Need for Speed games, they're generally Mustangs or old Mustangs, or the Mark 1 Golf for some reason is in there, but then you get the BRZ as a starter, which is just absolutely bizarre to me. So what I thought is, it makes total sense to have a Golf GTI, Golf R, something equivalent as the starter vehicles, just for the fact that it's not slow, but it's not fast either. They're pretty quick cars, and anyone nowadays, at least in the UK, can very much go to a dealership and ask, yes, I would like to finance this car. I have no deposit whatsoever, but my mum and dad will pay the monthly for me, and they're like, go for it, mate, go for it. If you can't pay it, we'll take it away. Good show, by the way. That's a very good, cracking show. There need to be more episodes of that. But seriously, I think the idea of having the Up GTI, the Golf R, that type of vehicle class, the old Focus RS, for a starter car for me wouldn't be too bad. Obviously, usually with Need for Speed games, they always end up giving us that free car at the beginning, and it seems to be decent end recently. And to me, hatches are the place that you should mostly start, or at least get us going for the first 20 races or so, because realistically, they're perfect city cars, which this game seems to be mostly city from what we've seen. And then moving on to the more four-door saloons or the coupe style cars like the BMW M3s and the Audis with S5s or whatever. I don't even know what they've got in the game. And one other thing to note is I did have to adjust this list slightly. I did have the Evo 10 and a bunch of other cars in there, but now that some of the cars have been confirmed, an example, the i8 is a good one because it gave me more of an idea of what cars I would like to see. There's obviously technically already hybrids in Need for Speed Payback. We've got the P1 and the 918, which are both hybrid vehicles. There aren't many hybrid vehicles, but the Polestar one is a proper hybrid and it's in the game now. So I thought, why not Need for Speed forefront electric? Make electric cars cool. Now, the Tesla Model 3 is by no means one of the coolest cars ever, but in terms of cars overall, Teslas are seen as being pretty cool. The Model X I didn't mention because it doesn't really fit anywhere in my opinion, and I think it would be stupid having a big heavy car that's as fast as the little ones for now. It would take some balancing, for example. But the Tesla Roadster would decimate everything in 0 to 60, but again, it's not out yet, so you can't really use that as an actual car to compare. But the Tesla Roadster, I think it's cool because it's a cool car. It makes electric cars look cool. That's been an issue to me with electric cars when you look at the Tesla Model 3 and other vehicles like that. Sure, they're decent, but then you look at the Nissan Leaf and the E-Up. They're just kind of like, they're not interesting whatsoever. So I think Need for Speed is in a good position to make these cars look cool, throwing customization parts on them. Tesla is a new company. Most car companies are a bit like old school. They don't want people modifying their cars. Tesla, I think, would probably, like Polestar, be open to the ridiculous kits that we see. And they might actually end up making Tesla some wall poster car, if that makes sense. Anyway, that's just my final kind of packing of all that information I threw at you. Hopefully, you agree with most of my list. I do always feel like I go a bit aggressive when it comes to the low-end cars, but that might scare some people. But obviously, you get to progress to the higher-end cars. That's what you want to do in real life and what you want to do in a game, in my opinion. You don't want to just be given all the best cars. That's my look on it, because realistically, once I have all the high-end cars in Forza, for example, which is a competitor, why am I going to bother buying the low-end cars? They start me in an M4. Why am I going to buy a Mark IV Golf R32? There is genuinely no reason, unless I really like the car like I do. But little Jimmy's not going to bother playing with that car. You know? I don't know. I think it just makes sense. Bit more personality, bit more progression. Nice car list. I think so. Okay, thanks so much for watching this video. Let me know if you disagree or agree with this. This is probably going to take me 100 downloads to edit properly. So that's going to be fun. Be sure to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. You're already in the right place for Need for Speed 2019. I keep saying 2019. Need for Speed Heat. I will see you in the next video. Peace.